You know, right in the middle of a desert, there's this well that has scientists kind of scratching their heads. For literally thousands of years, it's been pumping out water, creating this amazing story that blends ancient faith with modern mystery. So today, we're going to dive into the secrets of Zamzam water. I mean, just think about that number for a second. 4,000 years. A single well out in the desert has never, ever run dry. It's given water to millions upon millions of people, this constant, reliable source of life, century after century. So the big question is, how? How is that even possible? In one of the driest places on the entire planet, where does this seemingly bottomless supply of water come from? That's really the core mystery we're going to unpack. Now, to even begin to understand why this well is so important, we've got to go way back. We're talking thousands of years, to an origin story that is absolutely foundational for a huge part of the world. So the story, which you can find in ancient scriptures, is about Hagar and her baby son Ishmael. They've been sent out into the wilderness and they're completely alone. Their food is gone, their water runs out, and they are, for all intents and purposes, facing death. And right at that moment, their absolute lowest point, an angel appears. The story goes that the angel strikes the ground, and right there, from the dry, barren earth, a spring of water just gushes out. This water saves their lives, and it's the very beginning of the well we now call Zamzam. And here's what's so incredible. The importance of this story is huge. It's not just for one faith. This account of Hagar, Ishmael, and this miracle well, it's a shared heritage. It's a foundational story for Judaism, for Christianity, and for Islam. Okay, so that's the ancient story of faith. But let's fast forward to today, because that story gives way to a major scientific puzzle. When modern geologists take a look at the well of Zamzam, they are left with way more questions than answers. The well is right there in Mecca, next to the Kaaba. And the thing is, even with all our modern technology, geologists and hydrologists can't point to a map and say, aha, that's where the water's coming from. The usual explanations, well, they just don't fit. I mean, your first guess would be an underground river, right? That makes sense. But nope, they've done the surveys. There is no evidence of an underground river anywhere nearby, so scratch that theory. All right, so if it's not a river, what about an aquifer? A big underground layer of rock holding water. That's the other go-to explanation for a well. But again, there's no major aquifer connected to it that could possibly explain this amount of water. The puzzle just gets deeper and deeper. And get this, to make it even more baffling, the well is only 30 meters deep. That is incredibly shallow. For a well to produce this much water, you'd expect it to be tapping into some massive deep source, but it's not. And yet, from this shallow well with no obvious source, it can pump out more than 1,000 liters of water every single minute. That is a staggering amount, and it's how it's able to serve the millions of pilgrims who come to Mecca every year. So the mystery isn't just about where the water comes from, it's also about the water itself. When scientists actually analyze Zamzam water, they find its chemical makeup is, well, it's totally unique. So what do they find? Well, for one, it's reported to be one of the purest waters on Earth. It has this unique mix of minerals that gives it a really distinct taste. It's also said to have a perfect pH balance, and, amazingly, it stays pure without any filters or chemical treatments. So you have this unique geology and this unique chemistry. And for centuries, all of that has led to a powerful belief that this water has special properties, maybe even healing powers. This belief is really captured by a famous saying from the Prophet Muhammad. It suggests that what you get from the water is connected to what you intend when you drink it. So it frames the water as more than just a liquid. It becomes a vessel for faith. And the source material we're looking at today actually shares a modern story to kind of illustrate this belief. Now, it's really important to say, this is a personal, anecdotal story from that source. The story is about a person who was diagnosed with a very aggressive melanoma cancer. They went on the Hajj pilgrimage, and while there, they poured Zamzam water on the cancer with the pure intention of healing. When they got back, they had surgery to remove the tumor. But here's the thing, when the doctors ran tests on the tissue they removed, they reportedly found no cancer cells at all. So what we're left with is this really fascinating crossroads. You got a geological and chemical oddity that science, so far, can't fully explain. And on the other hand, you have thousands of years of powerful faith and deeply personal belief. And maybe that's the real power of Zamzam water. It doesn't matter if you see it as a divine miracle or an incredible marvel of nature. Either way, it's this amazing gift that connects our ancient history, our modern science, and our deepest faith. It really leaves us with one final big question to think about. At a place like the Well of Zamzam, where do you even draw the line between a miracle and a marvel? Or maybe they're just two different words for the exact same thing.